Oh, yes, we've been expecting you. I'll call Mr. Richards.
Hi, Frank Richards. I'm going to be your guide. Now, as I understand it, you're looking for the story on our quality in Chrysler Plymouth cars for 1972. Well, you came to the right place, because it all starts right here in engineering. Engineering and quality go hand in hand at Chrysler. First, we design quality in. Then we build it in. And we're doing it better than ever before. Let me show you some examples in our new 72 Chryslers and Plymouths. One of them starts with this alternator we introduced in our 1960 Plymouth models. We were the first company to replace the old generator in passenger cars. Everybody uses alternators now. We've improved the internal components this year and still made it sturdier, more durable, even more reliable, much less likely to need maintenance. And this, our new electronic ignition system, just has to be one of the most important ignition advances of this decade. It's standard on many of our V8 engines for 72 and optional on many others. There are no points, no condenser, no wear points or parts that need periodic replacement or adjustment. And it reduces emissions because it gives you more consistent firing of the plugs. Improves starting, too. This is about as close to a virtually maintenance-free ignition system as anybody has come yet. And this is what we call engineering for quality in Chrysler Plymouth cars. Here's another example. This is our new 400 cubic inch engine that replaces the 383 this year, and it has a lot of advantages. It has the torque and acceleration to give lively performance on regular gas. It runs well on low lead gas. It produces fewer emissions. And with all that, it is an extremely smooth and quiet engine. Speaking of emissions, we've made two major improvements to our vapor saver for 1972. A charcoal canister and an overfill limiting valve. The charcoal canister is used to store fuel vapors from the tank and carburetor. The limiting valve prevents overfilling the fuel tank. The result? Further reduced vapor pollution getting into the air. That means not only a better quality car, but a better quality environment, too. Now, let me show you a couple of other engineering advances that mean greater quality. We have a new chrome plating process that's going to mean improved corrosion resistance for trim parts. With the old plating method, the chrome surface might look smooth and hard, but under a microscope, it was really rather porous. And in time, when corrosive solutions like salt seep through, they set up an electrical action. That's what causes corrosion. The new plating method, called discontinuous chromium plating, cuts down corrosion because it has more of those pores in the metal. The electrical currents set up by corrosive materials are spread over more area, and the result is that the part stays shiny and corrosion-free longer. Quality. All four-door hardtops have a new and improved division bar between front and rear windows, and a new and better weather strip is also used at the roof rail. That means better sealing all around, less chance for leaks or wind noise. This is our new radio antenna. It's one-piece stainless steel, and it's designed to resist breaking either through accident or vandalism. It is also just the right height, 31 inches, for best FM reception. Well, those are just a few examples of how we engineer for quality at Chrysler. But that's only the first step. Materials, parts, and components that will be used in a Chrysler or Plymouth go through exhaustive testing before production. In our engineering laboratories, we constantly evaluate more than 16,000 items, from the smallest parts to fully assembled vehicles. What it amounts to is that you have thousands of people and hundreds of modern testing devices working for you to make certain that the Chrysler or Plymouth we deliver is the best car we can build. Now let me show you just a few examples. In this test, we flex a section of spring leaf over and over again at a critical frequency. Several lifetimes of fatigue are compressed into days to be sure the springs of your Chrysler or Plymouth car will stand up. And here, An engine rocker arm is put through the equivalent of thousands of miles of driving before the design is okayed for production. Brakes are crucial to safe driving. In this laboratory test, the dual master brake cylinders used in Chrysler and Plymouth cars are subjected to more applications and greater loads than the ordinary driver would apply in years and years of use. Here's a test in which we actually destroy one of the torsion bars that make torsionaire such a superior suspension in all of our cars. As indicated by the yellow stripe, the bar twists at least 360 degrees without failure. That's about 37 times more twist than it ever gets in normal driving, and about 18 times more than the most severe road test we could give it. Critical parts like this steering knuckle get especially intensive testing. In this test, the part is coated with a special liquid, and an electromagnetic field is generated when an electric current is passed through it. Then, if there is a flaw, it shows up under black light. That is, it shows up if you know what you're looking for. And our expert technicians know. Basic materials are checked, too. For instance, in our glass laboratory, samples of the glass we will use in our cars are constantly checked, not only for freedom from visual distortion, but for strength. Would you believe a 5-pound ball from 12 feet up? No problem for Chrysler glass. If the ball goes through, the glass has failed the test. There's one basic aim in all of this: quality. And quality means a lot of different things: safety, durability, dependability, ease of maintenance. It's all part of extra care in engineering. But that's not the end either. Where it all comes together, of course, is in manufacturing, where we actually build the Chrysler and Plymouth cars our customers will buy. We're putting more emphasis on quality in our manufacturing and assembly than ever before. I think you'll be interested in some of the things we're doing to build the best products in the business. This is an engine being checked out with a machine called an engine function tester. This testing device was designed and built by Chrysler people right here in the Mound Road engine plant. By looking at these banks of lights, the operator can tell instantly whether the engine is functioning properly. It helps assure that only top quality engines leave this plant for assembly into a Chrysler or Plymouth car. Incidentally, almost every part going into the engine is washed many times before assembly. This crankshaft, for example, is washed in mineral oil, brushed clean, then dipped in a hot bath to steam dry before being put into an engine. And after washing, plant quality control people constantly check for dirt. Not pounds of dirt, but specks. And on the final assembly line, the latest testing equipment helps assure top quality. Before instrument panels are installed, there is a 100% checkout of wiring harnesses to be sure all body circuits are right. Every vehicle on the line goes through a 150-gallon-per-minute rainstorm to check for leaks in critical areas. Every car we build gets a complete wheel alignment, caster, camber, and toe-in. But most important of all is people. No production process can really be any better than the men and women who do the job of building, assembling, and inspecting. Chrysler has greatly intensified its training programs, its supervision, and the number of quality control inspectors. And every man and woman who works in our manufacturing and assembly plants knows that Chrysler is out to build the finest vehicles on the road, and that he or she is expected to live up to that goal. I guess you could say that next to Chrysler, the word you hear most around here is quality. We're going to make them mean the same thing to everybody who buys a Chrysler or Plymouth car.